Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that made this game and are making other games, then you can go to Patreon, which is $3 a month. So, on the last Let's Play, we came outside to see what all the ruckus was about, which consisted of people being like, what's going on? And the audience being like, well, my grandpappy said that back in the old day when, stuff like this was going on, no one could get out of town. Someone tried to get out of town today, but couldn't. They tried 3 times, and, people were acting all queer and stuff like that. And also, whatever his name was, the one that doesn't have a sprite, brought a body over, and it's like, yeah, this is what I found when I went out of the town for the 3rd time. So, yeah, not good stuff. But, all to be expected in Echo. But then, also, Duke's like, I think the otter has something to do with it. Not that he wants it to happen, but he has something to do with it, so we have to do something to the otter. And the aunt's like, you know what? That's just crazy enough to work. We'll do whatever Duke wants or something like that. And most of the townspeople. But now, we're trying to defuse the situation by picking one of these 3 options. Maybe the first one? I don't know. Let's rest our face and begin. I stand there, and I can see Jenna beside the van, looking at me pleadingly. Auntie's peering at me now, a strange look on her face. This isn't right. I should do something. My head is killing me. Something's wrong. And at the worst possible hecking time. I grit my teeth, concentrating on what's really happening. Duke says something I can't quite make out, and Daxon stammers back a retort. I've had visions of Chase too, but nothing that points toward that as a conclusion. Leo slides Chase behind him, the wolf's ears pinned to the sides of his head. Raise the repeater to who? Well, Daxon's thing was, hey, you might be right, but also there's a thing going on here. I guess trust Daxon? Seeing his dad flashes in my mind. The hole in his head, with the look in his eyes. I keep my rifle clutched to my chest, pointed downward. Dax. Yeah? He's staring wide-eyed at the gun in Duke's grasp, his blue hands in the air. You gonna elaborate? Oh, yeah, hi. Dax does this sort of awkward wave before slowly lowering his hands. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, I don't think this is right. Perhaps. Oh, it's this music, which... Is this Adastra music? I think it is. But I bet it's gonna be... And somebody's gonna get shot. In like 5 minutes? Perhaps we can perceive the guilt of others at times in these sort of waking visions. You mentioned you see her. I don't presume to be knowing who her is, but it also sounds like you've got some baggage too. You test me with something fierce. Move, kid. Dax flinches, and I gingerly take a few steps closer to the weasel. We needn't put all that shit in the open with the details. I'm just saying, assume that all this caused by Chase here is perhaps overstating Chase's importance. And killing somebody, or even just letting them die, might be fueling the madness at hand. In my dreams, the one with Chase in them, nothing's pointing towards some deep, otherworldly call that it needs to perish. Even you, Miss Mayor, you can see the logic in that. Auntie stands with her hands on her hips, lips pursed. And what counters madness? Logic. Daxon smiles uneasily. Shoot them both! Well, it didn't take that long, I guess. Someone in the crowd yells. I step over and smack Duke's wrist. the gun falling to the gravel beneath. You're dooming us, kid. And your friend's gonna get away with murder. I scoff. The fuck he will. Now shut up. We're leaving. Daxon blinks, letting out a sigh of relief. Thanks, Flynn. I grunt in response. Ani moves over beside me, resting her hand on my shoulder. Flynn, you can't make this decision for everyone. Also, on a side note, I read a comment on my video that said, I guess she dies in Jenna's roots, maybe? I don't know, I don't remember that. I remember something about her. There's something wrong with it. I can't believe you entertained this fucking meth head's proposal. I used to think you were a good person, you know? But fuck that. Which trial it is. I spit on the ground. Ani lowers her hand and begins to fidget with her scarf, her gaze shifting downcast. Used to think us Moors were immune to all this sordid business. But I don't think you are. Not anymore. Bitch! Be careful, Flynn. She turns, walking back towards Mark, who's busy rewrapping Salem's body and bringing him inside. Like, she's saying that we're crazy? You're the crazy one. You're all damn crazy. It's rare to see her look so uneasy, trying to run the shit town like Echo. You get thick skin for shit, crumbling all around you, but nothing like this. Leo quickly helps Chase into the van, and the rest of the gang follows. Sunday. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Yep. Did you see that? I stare into the rearview mirror, watching for any signs of taillights in our wake. Leo's driving, of course. Carl's feeling woozy after everything that happened. I wish I was sitting back with him, but unfortunately, my legs are too long. That, and Leo's van, is clearly not designed for folks with thick tails, ooh, so I'm gonna sit with my cheeks straddling the edge to make room. He's sitting in between Jen and TJ, with Dax and Chase in the back. There's been some chatter about what happened, and what's bullshit and not bullshit. TJ's the only one who's been quiet. Though one thing's for certain, with everything that's happened, everyone seems pretty focused on getting out of town. Leo doesn't floor it like I expect him to, but we move down the bench of the mountain and through the town speedily enough. I see Jenna look out of her own window intently, and I can only imagine it's to see if she can spot Jeremy, maybe even her mother. Dude, I don't feel good. Chase got bit by a black widow, and he's been complaining less than you, Carl. Speaking of which, how you holding up, Otter? Chase gives a half-hearted thumbs up. The must-elids forehead resting against the side of the window. It's weird how, like, when you learn furry stuff, it's like, oh yes, mustelids, and, you know, fancy words for just groupings of animals, and it's just like, yeah, okay. Like, whatever they use in the shelter things. The VN. Carl, just puke on the floor if you have to. I don't think Leo's gonna stop. Carl leans over and puts his head between his knees, groaning. That gets TJ's attention, and he starts rubbing the ram's back slowly. Good thing smoothies probably aren't too bad on the way out. TJ frowns. I turn the dial on the radio, but like the cell phone signal, it's not getting anything. For now, I just turn up the AC and aim it up towards my face. My head's still throbbing up a storm. This feels like a dream, doesn't it? Leo speaks softly, too quiet for anyone behind us to hear. I wouldn't know. You locked Chase in a spider-infested room, then lied to us about it. I sigh, crossing my forearms over the dashboard, and leaning my face into them. I'm not in the mood for this shit, Leo. And then you risk your life to save him. Like, with the gun and everything, straight out of a scene in those westerns we used to watch. Peyton Axe's channel, remember? Scooter guy, back there, remind me of Deputy Jack from Tumbleweed Armadillo and his whole speech. Scooter guy. Who the fuck's Scooter guy? Like, Dax? I craned my head up a little, raising a brow at the wolf. He seems pretty focused on the road. Dax and Chase are muttering about something in the back of the van, but I can't make out any of it. But why? I mean, you could have finally gotten your revenge, or whatever, yeah? It's hard to read the big wolf's expression. He's certainly different than his previous bullshit persona as the cheery spring break patriarch. He seems old. Way older than he actually is. Fucking hell, Leo. I don't want Chase dead. I want TJ dead. My tone comes out more tired than exasperated, than genuinely angry. I just want the truth. Leo lets out a large breath through his nostrils, then slightly nods. Yeah. To be honest, I didn't even think about Sydney when I set all this up, you know? Of course he didn't. Leo never really was one to dwell much on Sid's death, beyond saying he'd protect the rest of us because of what happened. Basically, said shit was fucked up enough already, so you might as well try and stay too positive and cherish what you've got now. What he had was otter ass, so I'm sure that made it easier. Ooh woo. Then there's a long pause, and I rubbed the back of my frilled head. Never mind. Nothing. Another long silence. Dax gives Chase a bottle of water, and Carl starts to play a game on his phone. A few minutes later, we're already passing the lake. Huh. So, is it Sunday already? Sunday morning? That's what the clock says. What a fucking day. I don't say anything in response. We never got to ask Flynn's aunt about the thing. We could always go back and ask. What? No, He's kidding, TJ. Oh. The Ling stares at the space between his knees. Do you actually think she know anything about it, Flynn? Oh no. She said Mark knew enough about what happened with the body, though. I mean, how would he know about enough? Carl shivers and puts his head back down while TJ continues to rub his back. A few minutes of silence go by before Carl speaks up again. That feels kind of nice. It reminds me of my mom. Yeah, actually, my mom did too, though thought it might help. Hey, I love you. And just so you know, all of you guys, I'm glad we're getting out of here. Fuck it, I'm going back to Pueblo. I raise a brow ridge at the ramp. And I'm taking you with me. He points a thick finger towards me, leaning forward, enough that he pokes me in the shoulder. I restrain a smile, instead letting out his idle grunt. Me? College? What a thought. The idea of being around guys my age, and Carl. I'm not even sure what the hell I'd major in. Definitely not fucking pol sci. Political science? I squeeze my wrist, trying to refocus. What would political science be? Also, what would political science be in 2025? You know? I have no idea. I love you too, Carl. And everyone else. You too, Captain Daxton. Captain? Oh, was promoted. Cool. Daxton seems distracted, watching Chase stare at his own fingertips. Yeah. Chase affirms his love for everyone with groggy monotone. Jenna glances back at them before returning attention out of her own window. Leo doesn't say anything from the front, is focused solely on the road ahead of him. Are we at the clinic yet? So about 20 minutes out. I watch the desert whip by us, for the first time feeling somewhat safe as the town disappears behind us. But of course, it doesn't last long. What's that? On the side of the road there. Leo turns his head in the direction of something on the curb, up ahead. We all do. What is that? Oh my gosh. TJ covers his mouth. Carl sits up straight, trying to see. Leo slows down as he passes. There's Chase's car, all the windows shattered. And there's Duke, lying a dozen feet away from the open door on the driver's side. And there, crouching over him, is something I can't explain. How did we get here anyways? Okay, it seems like... How is it that Duke dies at least twice? Pretty much the same way. But, like, didn't we get in the car and get out of Echo? Then why is Duke here dead on the side of the road ahead of us? Oh no. Hairless body and limbs long. Way too long. The head comes up, and all I see are 3 holes and blood. TJ screams next to me, and Leo shouts something before stepping on the gas, slamming me back into my seat. I try to look back, but whatever it was is gone. At least, it's gone from where it was, because I see something move next to my window. I turn to face it, and it stares back at me. But only for a moment. That thing, whatever the fuck it is, disappears. Almost the instant I register it's there. I'm only staring out into the blackness of the desert. Still, 3 holes, eyes, and a mouth blink back at me in a sort of afterimage before that vanishes too. It's him, it's him, it's him, it's him! TJ reaches up and grabs my arm, claws out. I'm too shocked to even pull away as TJ leans forward next to me, staring out my window. At least, I know I'm not the only one that saw it. TJ squeaks again when no one answers him. It's real? I don't know. Some kind of amno, maybe? I've never seen anything like that before. Dude could have had a disease? Lost all of his fur or something. Maybe Duke hit it. But it was walking. How was Duke here? He was back at City Hall. Okay, at least they, talk about it. Maybe it dragged him? Faster than our car? How did he get Chase's car? I still have my keys on me. That's impossible. Okay, so maybe a theory, which would make sense why the bear and the other guy exist. Multiple timelines. Could have hotwired it. I don't know, man. Because that's Leo's route. TJ leans back, looping his arm around Carl's, and I can see him shaking. I look over my shoulder through the back window. Jesus fuck. Just like Dax described. There! We've all seen it. It's how I remember, but I don't remember ever moving that fast. Or with, blood. Jenna rings her paws together, speaking quietly. Her tone is thoughtful and worried, as if she's trying to rationalize this all to herself. Fuck. That's what got Salem, isn't it? Jesus, don't fucking take your foot off the gas, Leo. Leo doesn't respond, staring straight ahead. He squeezes on the wheel so hard, it looks like it's bending. I pull back the hammer on my repeater, holding the rifle across my chest, with barrel pointed towards the window. I remember Duke's pistol that I stowed in the car door holder earlier. I grab it and toss it to the back seat. Jenna grabs it without hesitation, aiming out the opposite side. This is freaking nuts. At this point, Chase's car is a good distance away, only visible because the headlights are on. A streak of light fading out across the desert. Duke's dead, isn't he? Ugh. Some dry retching noises, followed by a heavy splattering sound, cuts me off. Carl is hunched over in his seat, head between his legs. It isn't hard to figure out what just happened, especially when the smell hits me. Oh my gosh, Carl! TJ looks torn between blanching away and comforting the ram. Carl comes back up, looking like he's about to say something before diving forward again. A much louder retch, followed by a much quieter popping sound follows. Plopping. I grimace, feel my own stomach roll. God. Daxon's looking up at them, a paw to his nose. You okay, man? Carl keeps his head down a while longer, his fingers twisting in the fabric of his shorts. TJ tentatively rubs his back. I would have done it out the window. I don't want to... I would have done it out the window. I don't want to open any of the windows now, though. It's okay, Leo. Are there any napkins up there? Leo, who has been silent up until now, remained silent. He's staring out of the windshield hard, paws on the wheel, then death grip. You don't want to open the glove box because there's a whole bunch of used tissues in there. Chase, meanwhile, is clutching his chest, his eyes red and bleary. He leans forward, and the sound of something wet hitting the fabric floor mat is audible through the cabin. Chase's puke sounds much less wet than Carl's. The wretch is more grotesque. I can practically feel the bile in my own esophagus. Daxon stops what he's doing and holds Chase. Fuck. The otter manages to exclaim in between the bouts of puking. Drink some water. During all this, I'm still glancing out the windows. Not head on though, because I'm honestly fucking terrified. I'm going to look straight into those eyes again. We drive in silence for the next 5 minutes, with no creature in sight, thankfully. But I don't know what to think right now. There's no way what I saw was some animal, like Carl implied. The way it moved, the way it crouched, and most of all, its face. I've never seen anything like it. At least anything that's not Halloween costume. Maybe one of the locals dressed up in a costume or something. Is this some sort of shitty prank show? Like the one on the science fiction channel? But then, how the fuck did it keep up with the car? Were we going that fast? Did Leo slow down a little? No wait, Leo did slow down a little, I think. I keep these thoughts to myself. Everyone looks freaked out enough without any more speculation. I feel trapped, like I'm stuck in a metal box I can barely move in, with a gun I can't aim. If this thing cannot run and rip at cars, nothing's safe. I just have to focus. We're on our way out, and soon I'll be safe in a clinic, police station, or in a applauding audience surrounded by a shit ton of cameras. If it's the latter, I'm decking the first fucker that comes out with a microphone. I try not to think about Duke and by the car, Salem on the blanket. My aunt's out there trying to keep everyone safe. With that thing. I shake my head, trying to stay watch for any sign of movement. Are you okay, Chase? Tia's arm is around Carl's, the lynx craning his neck to peer back at the hunched-over otter. I've never been so freaking scared in my life. But yeah, I'm okay. Chase grasps at his throat and neck, wincing heavily. It's getting harder to breathe. Hold on, Chase. No, how can... What? The car lurches as Leo slows us down again. I squint my eyes, attempting to peer past the glare at the headlights. Of the headlights reaching in the darkness beyond. But I don't see anything, just the road stretching ahead of us. From the back seat, Chase's croaking, high-pitched voice pipes up. What's wrong? Leo's quiet for a moment. His face is blank, ears twitching. Leo turns in the seat, looking out the passenger window, then his own. I'm heading the right way, right? Why do we stop? TJ sounds panicked. The lynx turns around in his seat as he stares out the back window. It's the first time I've seen him in a car without a seatbelt on. Leo goes silent, a look of befuddlement crossing his red and white muzzle. He's looking at the mountains that surround Echo Canyon. We aren't. Look. Jenna scoots forward at the edge of her seat, pointing to something outside. The hills. Those were on our right side a while ago. We must have looped around. But we've been going straight this whole time. The only way we'd go back this way is if we got turned around when we hit the main highway. But we haven't hit the main highway, have we? Chase presses his furry cheek against the window, his tired eyes bulging. What the goddamn? Trails off. So we just seamlessly transition from going one way to the other without any of us noticing? No. Leo must have gone off and turned around on that side of the road There's no way. While trying to lean forward, I get a better look at the mountains. Leo's elbow pushes down the horn. TJ gasps, digging his claws in the fabric of a seat. Please don't do that. It was an accident, I swear. Okay, just let's be quiet, okay? Leo, we're going the wrong way. Jenna speaks as calmly as possible, clearly aware that the tension in here is getting increasingly high. Leo brings the car to a hard stop, throwing me forward into the seatbelt. Then he does a quick three-point turn, shove me right, then left, before I'm smacked back into the seat as Leo accelerates again. I hear a soft thunk of flesh on glass, then a groan from the back, Chase rubbing his face with a sore-looking nose. Injury upon injury. Sorry, Chase. You okay? No. Responds back hoarsely, sinking back further into the scratchy fabric of the seat. Oh, same. Daxon does a curt nod. The wolf clutches the steering wheel with an iron grip. We both stare out the windshield, eyes to the horizon. Nobody says anything for a while. Even in the silence, I can feel the growing unease from those behind us, the trembling muscles and clicking of claws. I try to block it out, to just focus on watching what's ahead. All things considered, it's not so bad, as long as I could, keep the fear from clouding my mind. You know, fear is the little death. Though, it could be said about most things in life. We just have to keep driving to get out of this fucking town. We can't get sidetracked again, especially with that fucking eyeless thing around. I wonder if it heard the horn earlier. I focus on the mountains now, making sure that they don't disappear. I slope up and down gently under the moonlight, speckled in the dark spots of rock and vegetation. Vaguely, I remember back when I was younger, leading Sydney around to the bend and entertaining his explorer fantasies. Brought my BB gun, and he'd run around, shooting at mesquite trees and looking for signs of lost native treasure. I told him that the pioneers thought there was a city of gold buried beneath the mountain's topsoil, waiting to be unearthed. He fucking loved that. He even brought a little trench shovel, as he put it, dig his own mine. Pretty sure he thought that was the whole reason for Echo's old mine, to find the city and shit. It wasn't a complete lie either. The Ate tribe supposedly told the conquistador types that treasure and riches were stored aptly in the Meseta territory around here centuries ago. Of course, it's so they'd fuck off and bother their rivals instead of them. But the prospectors eventually did find gold in the mountains. All Sid ever found was some feldspar and alabaster quartz. He kept the whole collection. I blink, staring at the window as the mountains just disappear, slope down to nothing. I squint, then I look out Chase's window in the back. Sure enough, mountains. Leo. God damn it. Leo speeds up instead of turning around though. Dude, what are you doing? G's claws come out again and against my skin as he gets that scared cat look on his eyes. Leo mumbles, mostly to himself. There's no way this leads back to Echo. No way. Yeah? Leo, slow down a little. Leo takes in a seething breath. Just trust me, okay? This is getting out of hand. But I to God, don't know. Don't have a fucking better idea. I'm gonna keep going until I see that car we passed. Judging by the silence, No one has any better ideas. Fuck knows I don't. Another minute of driving, more awkward silence, then Leo hisses through his teeth. Straight ahead of us, a sign. What? How in the shit? Echo Mine, Decanta entrance. That's on the other side of town. I say that as if it cannot possibly be where we're at. Oh, there it is. It stands about 8 feet tall, faded wood, with that touristy Wild West front placard that the country commissioned a couple of years ago. The sign only readable because our headlights are right on it. The original solar face lights had been destroyed by junkies years ago. Leo thins his lips, driving right past it. The minutes pass, and it becomes increasingly difficult to place exactly where we are. On this side of town, I can see that smoke coming from earlier more clearly too. The smell, like burnt charcoal, seeps into the cabin through the AC. It's like a barbecue out there. Leo lets out a worried bit of laughter though the wolf begins to pull off the side of the road, only to flip around and go the other way again. Jenna lets out a strange sigh. It's laden with exacerbation, but there's a slight quiver in her vocal cords. We keep going, and more time passes. Daxon mutters something I can't quite make out to Carl, who has been oddly silent, his paws over his face. I occasionally catch Chase look at me in the rearview mirror. Looking. Despite his shit with the spider bite, he looks more, well, animated than I've seen him in a long time. There's a lot less staring off in the distance, and more active grimacing, muttered soft-core swears, and darting gaze. I never realized how yellow his eyes are before. Were they always that bright? More time passes, and as we round the bend, Jenna crawls halfway into the mid-seats console and points ahead. That's where Duke and Chase's car was. It's not there now. How can you tell? Daxon keeps craning his neck to see past me. The corner looks familiar, but where's the car? I remember that thing. His silhouette was outlined against a group of pinion trees, by the guardrail. TJ makes a whining noise. I recognize it too. There's no broken glass, tire marks, or blood, though. Absolutely no remnant of the memory to be found. God, there's nothing there. Leo speaks softly, as if talking to a child. It's unclear whether he's glad or upset that the grisly scene is straight up gone. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, jeez. I look out the window. I'm just gonna watch the mountains. Let us know if they decide to flip around. He lets out a dry, terrified chuckle. Jen returns to her seat, her elbow scrunched. It's like we're stuck in some kind of loop. Jenna gives Dax an inquisitive look, seemingly baffled anyone could find humor in this. What? It's nothing. It's an Adastra thing. Go on. I've got time, apparently. Or we've got time. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Sales shaking his head. In Adastra. Carl groans, despite his displeasure muffled by his paws over his face. Some kind of was always the go-to line of Captain Amicus whenever he encountered something he didn't quite understand. Daxon leans his head back, his bland noggin pushing against the headrest. Some kind of alien transponder, or some kind of time paradox, or some kind of matter replicator, some kind of reproductive goo, and so on. And this helps us how? I don't think it does. It's just sort of funny, I guess. It's like I'm in an episode with a group of wacky characters. Wacky, huh? Jen responds monotone as she returns her focus to the window. I'm just really glad I'm not alone. No one speaks after that. After the truck's engine pulls up another hill, I see something come into view, though a clearing of cacti. Through. Oh, fuck me gently. Echo mine. Danica entrance. No. TJ whines. Leo slows down more and more until we come to a gentle stop. We sit there in silence, staring at the faded text and gravel trail that leads into the canyon head. Leo starts muttering darkly to himself, looking out the windows, then at the dashboard. I don't ask him if he's okay. I know what the answer is. TJ continues to make a soft whimpering sound, like he's trying not to cry. It's okay, it's just dark, and we're going off-road somehow. Leo whispers whatever comes to mind to explain what the fuck is happening. Carl still has his head down in his paws, completely quiet. He could be asleep for all I know. I think about suggesting that maybe we should just wait it out till morning in the car. But as I open my mouth, I hear a scratching noise toward the back of the car. TJ's ears perk up, which lets me know that I'm not the only one. Instinctively, I turn around my seat. Bits of glass fly into my face, and the next thing I know, I'm down in my seat, head down with my rifle raised towards the hole. Get down! Carl ducks, and TJ and Jenna lurch away in their respective sides of the car, TJ accidentally opening his door and nearly tumbling out. Close the door! Close the door! Carl manages to get a hold of the lynx, trying to tug him back upright as TJ cries, flailing about. I can't get a good shot. Carl's big head is bobbing up and around as something moves around outside towards the newly opened car door. A shot rings out, though not from me. A wide-eyed looking Jenna holds her smoking pistol up and fires again. The sharp crack reverberates through the cabin once more. Carl, very much awake now, slams TJ's door shut and screams at Leo, Go, go, go! Leo already on it, and I feel the car jolt forward. Then, I'm bouncing up and down in the seat as we go off-road, Leo not bothering with the 3-point turn this time, instead going for a full U-turn. We're back on asphalt and speeding down the road when I feel it's safe enough to raise my head back up and look out the back window. For a moment, I'm terrified I'm going to find that thing crouched on the trunk, staring in at us. But instead, all I see is a giant hole through the back window, the remaining glass jagged. Oh God, are you guys okay? Daxon looks back and forth between us and the roads behind the van. Chase, meanwhile, looks like he's about to throw up again. His muscled features are scrunched in a tight grimace as he presses himself against the seats. Still up fully, keeping my sights trained on the back. Yeah. I yell at him over the sound of the car and the wind whistling around behind me. Jenna, did you get it? I don't know. Carl's bent over in the seat, too, brushing glass from his hat and hoodie. I look at TJ, who's still crouched over in his own seat, covering his head. Bits of glass are scattered on the back and his back and head. I pick some piece out of his fur on his neck and lean over him. TJ, are you alright? TJ stutters and doesn't say anything as Jenna plucks some shards under his collar. What was that? Daxon shouts back at us, staring through the window. Fuck if I know. I don't want to think about what I actually think it was. I just need to be ready if it comes again. Leo picks up the high speed, hitting some of the potholes hard enough that I'm worried we're going to get a flat. Then we'd be in some real deep shit. We drive on for another 5 minutes in silence. And then the sign appears in front of us again. This time, no one says anything, and Leo doesn't bother turning around. I watch out my window as we fly past the historic path. But nothing happens. All we see is a tall piece of wood with the broken lights, and all I hear is the wind whipping around us. Jenna keeps a paw on TJ's back, as he remains hunched over, the other still holding Duke's pistol. Carl sits quietly, staring at his window. On the bright side, the bashed-in back window has diminished the smell of sick, but the smoke smell is stronger than ever. Sparse dots of light showing up on the horizon, indicating where Echo is. That's when Leo speaks up. Alright, that's it. We're heading back to my place, shutting off all the lights, locking the doors, and eating toaster pastries until this all blows over. It's not the worst plan in the world, for sure. I guess we have to. I'd rather not meet the same fate as that guy on the blanket. Yeah, I reckon that sound. I shift myself onto one knee on the seat, the old thing creaking under my weight. I have to hunch low so that my head isn't smushed against the ceiling. I just have to pray that Leo doesn't hit any sudden big bumps. There's a sinking feeling in my stomach at the thought of going back to Echo. Part of me wonders whether Duke and Chase's car are still there, and we just imagine that whole grisly scene. Buddy! Well, that's gonna be the end of this Let's Play. I was like, are we gonna get it home? Are we gonna get smashed from the side? Nope. But I do want to check one thing, if we have any more scenes. It is kind of funny playing this game in the beginning. Okay, there's 2 more scenes. I guess, you know, those scenes are reserved for Leo's route. But man, it is kind of funny being like, play this game. It's like, oh, hey, we're all gonna have a good time here. Because I didn't know shit about this game. It was like, oh, so it's a dating sim or something? I mean, I guess it kind of is, but then it's also like, oh no, it's about cosmic horrors or something. Maybe not cosmic horrors, but ho-ho-hos. Neat. So, end of this Let's Play. So comment, guys, I like comments, 72 like, dislike, tips 6 otherwise. If you like my YouTube and like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos to help it grow. And please remember to spay and or neuter your animals to help control the pet population, because that is something that is important to me. And if you want to play this game, it's available free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that made this game and are making other games, then you go to the Patreon, which is $3 a month. And until next time, on another Let's Play, me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. That does bring a question. If I want to get the earlier access for the smoke room, where do I go? I guess George has his own Patreon? I've never looked, because I haven't done the smoke room in a hot minute. So thanks and see ya.